Again, my name is Mateusz. I am product lead owner in Scylla, and today I will gonna be your host regarding this webinar. And what I want to talk today about is AI-powered solutions from Scylla. And most of the time, I want to talk about the usage of this kind of AI, about how you can utilize, how you can use Scylla in your business or in your projects or in your current installations. So how to use this technology for your benefits. How to get 100% out of it. And I hope that this webinar will be also a discussion. So please feel free to ask questions during the presentation. I think you got this this button for questions and answers. And as soon as I'm going to see any kind of question, I will try to address this one during the presentation. I don't want to stick strictly to this PPT that I prepared. So if there is something that I can show you live, I will do it. So don't worry. So, okay, I think we can start. This training will be recorded. So if you need to show this one later to your customers or to your colleagues, it won't be a problem. We're going to share the link with you. So let's get started. I know that I don't need to introduce the Scylla to you. I heard that Karim said that everybody knows who Scylla is, and I'm really happy. But the only thing that you need to remember is that each our product, each our solution is designed in a way to be easily integrated with current systems and with current VMS systems and current solutions that your customer is using or you are using. So this is like a universal solution. It doesn't matter what kind of cameras you have. It doesn't matter what kind of VMS you are using or you will use. You can always put Scylla inside this system. And all our products, all our solutions are designed in a way to solve the major problem that we have right now with all security systems, and not only security systems, the overall systems inside the facilities for the projects. And the problem is, usually, is that we have too much data. So we live in the era of Internet of Things, right? Everybody wants to have an Internet of Things, and they have usually. Because when we talk about some kind of project, like let's say power plant or warehouse or manufacturing facility, or even like smart city solution, we have thousands of devices that are sending some kind of information. When we talk about the cameras, of course, is live image, right? But also audio. And maybe some kind of, we have some connected sensors like temperature sensors, sound detection systems, access control, alarm systems, peer detectors, and so on, so on. And all those systems, they send information. In Scylla, we built solutions that are using this information and sort this information to present this information to the operators in the right way. Because you have to do it this way. Otherwise, there is no way to manage this whole system, because you will get too much data and you will overload and you will get actually nothing. So we get this VMS system, video management, and actually the video and metadata management system. This is one product, and there you can integrate access control, alarm systems, fire security systems, and so on. And the second part is the AI that is using the images from the cameras and sorting those images in a way that the operator can use them. Why it's needed? Why it's so important? Because nobody is using those kind of systems anymore. I mean, you are all professionals, right? And you know that if you're gonna put one person in front, even one screen with 16 cameras, after 20 minutes, this person sees nothing. And if you need to manage multiple systems, or even like, let's say one warehouse where you have like hundreds of cameras, looking at those cameras is inefficient. So for the one person, of course. So you have this dilemma. You can hire more people to manage all those images, but this means huge cost. And to be honest, it will not be a solution, because this even if you hire like 10 people, they will be blind actually looking at those cameras for like 1 hour or 2 hours. So you need to sort this kind of information. And what I want to present to you is actually the solution that we implemented for one of the customers. This is information from one of our dashboards. So this customer, he said that, okay, let me try Scylla for 1 month. Let's check what is going on. Let's do this proof of concept. Let's check how much money I can actually save. The problem was with this customer is that he was managing multiple sites. And actually here you can see the number of sites. We have like 67 different sites. And like I said, we can be integrated with anything and we can use any kind of streaming from the system. So what we did, we took the live images from NVRs, from DVRs even, from the analog cameras, from the cameras alone, or some of the cameras were sending only the motion detections and so on. And because of this system, it was really old. We had this normal motion detection or old, let's say, image analysis, right? So it was called like video content analysis or something like this, right? So it was like more like pixels analysis. But you know that those kind of systems, they are prone to false alarms. And actually, if you take a look at this one, from the 1st April to the 19th of April, where we make this test for this customer, from those 67 sites, he integrated like 10 cameras on each site. So it was around 600 cameras integrated in our system. We received more than 2 million alerts. Of course, most of them were like motion alerts or something moving on the camera, and we just received like 2 million alerts. Now imagine how to manage this kind of number of alerts using like normal system. So you just put a person, the person is looking at the cameras where there is some kind of alarm. He's got the pop-up window from the camera. He needs to check this out and then decide if he wants to like send the alarm to the security team on site or ignore because it's false alarm. If you want to manage this 2 million alerts and you want to spend 10 seconds on each alert, this means that you will need 8 people working on 3 shifts just to manage all those alerts. Imagine the cost. So probably you know what was the answer, right? Because nobody's using the motion detection right now. Why they're using motion detection? What they need to use is video analytics, right? Because with the video analytics, the camera can, or the system can detect that, okay, this is a person or this is not a person, and they can ignore it. And this is somehow true. Yeah, you're right. This is the solution. And everybody is promoting this kind of solution for past few years, right? Use the system with video analytics where you can distinguish that there is a person or not. And in this situation, for this customer, we limited the number of alarms. We rejected, again, almost 2 million alarms. So 99% of the alarms were rejected because they were like false alarms, moving bushes, some shadows, maybe lighting or like rain and things like this. And we had only 1% of verified alarms. Only 20,000 alarms were sent to our situation. But this is probably the answer that you were looking for, because probably you are wondering, okay, video analytics, Scylla, what is the difference between the analytics that Scylla is providing and the analytics that you have built in the cameras? Because you can just put an NVR there, right? You can connect the cameras to the NVR and you have the video analytics on board on the NVR or on the camera. Right now, the problem is that all manufacturers are using the marketing departments to make some marketing materials about the products, and the marketing loves the AI word. The AI is now is hot topic. It's really nice and people are clicking it. So everything is AI. Not only like this kind of camera is AI powered image. You can even buy from the AliExpress the cameras like this for 50 euro or even less. With what? There is, of course, AI, human and vehicle detection. Everything is AI. Right now, even the AI sound detection, some AI content analysis, and so on. So what is the true meaning of this AI? What is the difference between the AI we are talking about in Scylla and the AI that is built in the cameras like this? So The first difference is that this is not the typical image that you have from the surveillance. If you get the camera like this, with this nice background, when the person is really big regarding the whole scene, so the person takes a lot of space of the image, the background is even, the lighting conditions are great, and the image quality is great. Actually, for this kind of this scene, any kind of analytics will work. But to be honest, this is not how typical surveillance camera looks like. This is how the surveillance camera looks like. This is what you need to analyze. This is, for example, HD resolution PTZ camera installed on the high mast because the customer believes in the power of the PTZ cameras. You know, I will just put one PTZ camera on the high tower, and this PTZ camera will see everything. Why I should install like stationary cameras? I will just install one camera. But this is the problem, right? Because this kind of camera usually needs the operator. And how you want to detect people from this kind of scene? As you can see here, we have two people here, but the size of those people is really small. But this is typical situation. And for example, here, this is typical image from the surveillance camera in Polish city surveillance. This is how it looks like. So the image is blurry. This is some analog camera. The person is hard to distinguish because they are dressed in black clothes, and it's really hard to find them. And the aspect ratio is odd. But this is how the surveillance looks like. Or like here, again, resolution is small. The compression is eating all the details. You have the noisy camera, and this is the first difference between any other AI and Scylla. We are using this kind of images, this kind of live videos from the cameras to teach our AI how to detect objects, because not only like a person, but all objects. And why it's important? Because first of all, you can use our solution to revive, to enhance, to upgrade current installations. So when you go to your customer, or maybe you are the customer, you are using your system, you don't need to spend a lot of money to replace all the cameras that you have. You can actually use them, because if the image is like even like this, it's enough to detect people. Actually, there is a person here, and we are able to detect this person. So this is the huge difference. Our AI knows how the image of the camera, a typical surveillance camera, looks like, how the person on this kind of camera looks like. So how the person looks like on the camera where there is huge motion blur, image noise, or low resolution, and so on. So this is the power. And we are able to detect those intruders on those kind of scenes really early. So we are, our system is designed to detect really small objects. Why? Because even if I'm gonna show you this kind of image, let's say that you are the operator and you don't have the 16 cameras, you have only one, this one. And you need to detect a person here. Take a look, it's impossible to detect. So this system needs to be better than the human operator. And the second thing, it needs to detect the person, the intruder, as soon as possible. Because if you detect the person that is inside your facility, it's already too late. Just forget about it. Because this person, if it's inside your facility, it will damage the wall, the gate, the fence, right? It can already steal something. It can damage make damages to like windows or to doors in your facility. And for example, your insurance company, we can say that, oh, there was no reaction, so we cannot pay you off for this one because your system didn't react on this person in time. So when we want to detect something, we want to detect this person as soon as possible and make the system fully automatic. What does it mean? It means that when the system will detect the person, you need to have the prevention. That's why we highly recommend installing some IP speakers, you know, those 120 dB, really loud ones, where they can play the message like, this area is under surveillance, please move away. And in 90% of those situations, those people will just stop. And they will do nothing. Yeah, they will just run away. So this is why the system needs to detect the person as soon as possible. And like I said, it needs to be better than the operator, because even if you are looking like here on 8 cameras, believe me, you will miss you missed actually most of the intruders. There is at least one intruder on each of those images. And even if I'm gonna limit the number of those cameras to like 4, you will also probably miss some of those. So you need to have the system that will detect those people for you, and also to make the system to work on really high, like big areas. So again, what is the difference between our solution and the current solution that is used on the market, and how you can use this Scylla for your benefit? So how you can actually, first of all, save money and maybe even earn more money using this kind of solution. So let's talk about the design. So where you install the cameras on your facility, of course, you are professional, so you know that you need to calculate the range of the camera. So how far the camera will see and from what kind of distance the camera will be able to detect intruder, let's say, and notify you. Because the bigger the distance, this means that less cameras you need to use, and this is how you can actually save money. So when you design the systems, and when you design the system, it doesn't matter what kind of brand you are using right now. When I'm talking about the cameras, you can ask the manufacturer for some kind of specification for their video analytics, and ask them how many pixels per meter. This is the quality that you calculate. How many pixels per meter you need for proper detection. So if your manufacturer is stating that our AI can detect person with 99%, you should ask how many pixels you need for this 99%. Because this is what we need. We need to design this way. And this is the difference between built-in analytics in the cameras and something that I call a true AI, GPU-based true AI. What is this actually difference, and how this correlate with this pixel per meter? When you talk and when you look at the video analytics that is built in the camera, actually this works somehow. Let's say it's similar to this kind of toy. Probably you know this toy from kids are loving when they are really young to play with this one. So this is how also the typical, the most simple video analytics works on the camera. So you have the shape, and this shape, this block, just fits to one of those holes, right? So for example, you have this star shape, and it fits to the star hole. So inside the camera, you teach this system to detect the shape of the human, like here. Of course, you have different models that you can use. For example, like skeleton based. So the system will learn that, okay, the shape needs to have like 2 legs, 1 torso, and 2 hands, or like something like contour based model. So you have those tiny blocks, and let's say 80% of those blocks needs to fit this hole for the detection. And this is the difference. So you need to teach the AI, the analytics that is built in the camera, all the shapes of the human. So let's say we have this kind of person, but also this person will look completely different if the person is walking not in front of the camera like here, but on the side, because you will see only the side of the person, right? Or maybe the person is, let's say, trying to sneak in, so it's a little bit bent over, right? So the shape again is a little bit different, but you need to teach the camera all the shapes to detect the person. And if you take a normal camera with something that is called smart motion detection, that is capable to distinguish a person from a moving bush, let's say, the manufacturers, they will tell you that you need at least, well, they say that 68 pixels per meter, but actually the model that is inside the camera is around 50 pixels per meter. So this is the maximum, let's say, the minimum resolution that you should provide for the camera. So if you're designing the system like here, so we have one camera, full HD resolution, and we know that this customer is smart. So this customer doesn't need the camera with 100-degree horizontal field of view. So they will use the varifocal lens to have 45 degrees, a little bit zoom in, because you know that when you zoom in, you get more details. This means that with 50 pixels per meter, you can detect person and trigger the alarm from up to 49 meters. This is the range when you get with smart motion detection. So then you can move one level up. And instead of the cheap smart motion detection cameras that will, of course, limit the number of false alarms, of course, but still those are like cheap and not so smart, right? And you move to the segment of cameras that are, I don't know why, but they are called AI. The difference is that actually those better cameras, still they use those kind of shapes, but they also put more shapes in this kind of system. So for example, they teach the camera how the person looks like when, for example, you don't see the legs of the person, or you see only one leg. But again, you need to teach the camera all the shapes that the camera needs to detect. If this person is, for example, walking on his fours like a dog, probably the camera can miss this person. It will not detect the object because you didn't teach the camera this kind of shape. But still, those cameras, yes, they can detect person from the farther than the smart motion detection. So those professional cameras, they can detect using like 35 pixels per meter. Some of the manufacturers, they say like 40 pixels. Some of them say like 30 pixels, maybe in perfect scenario and so on. Overall, this means that comparing to the smart motion detection camera, this one can see like 50% further, right? Because the distance is 70 meters instead of 49. So you can say that, okay, instead of installing cheap, let's say stupid cameras, right? I can just invest a little bit more, install AI cameras, and this way I can install less those cameras on this installation because they can detect further. Now, we are talking about the AI cameras, smart cameras. What is the difference between those cameras and Scylla, this true AI that I started talking about? So what is the true difference? Well, the AI, artificial intelligence, works completely different. You don't need to teach all the shapes of the person or the object that you want to detect, because the artificial intelligence will work just like human intelligence. So, for example, if I'm going to show you that the first one, this is a dog, and this is a dog, you know that, or if I'm going to teach my kid, right, that this is also a dog. It's completely different than those two, but there are some aspects of this object that are similar to those two. So the artificial intelligence can like extrapolate, can learn from the past data and use this knowledge for the future. And this is the true difference. This is the true power of the AI. It works like human intelligence. So if I teach my kid that those two are dogs, I don't need to teach again that, yeah, this is also a dog, because the kid will actually know that this is it. For the normal camera, you would need to include this one, and this one. And even if there is completely different dog, still the camera will not detect this one because it doesn't know this shape. And probably it will mix dog with a cat or something like this. So even you teach the AI will know that all those three are actually dogs. So how it corresponds to our security? What is the benefits? Actually, the AI knows that, for example, this is a person, because it doesn't matter that there is only one leg, one hand visible, and a head. The AI knows that this is some kind of object that it's not moving, and probably the rest of the person is behind it. But also this one. If you can see ahead of a person, it means that this behind this wall, there is the rest of it. So this is how the AI can detect. Or even like this. If you see only hands of a person, it means that the rest of this person is behind this object. So those hands alone are enough to detect the object. So comparing this kind of AI with the cameras, this is the benefit that you get. For proper object detection, we need 15 pixels per meter for day and 20 pixels per meter for IR night images. Like this is our, I don't say that it will not detect the person where you get like 10 pixels per meter, because we have also those kind of detections. But when you design the system, this is the value that we recommend to put inside the project specification. What does it give you? Take a look at the distance. It's no longer 49 meters. It's no longer 70 meters. It's 163 meters for detection. And I know that some of you are thinking like, okay, but during the night, you will not detect the object with 163 meters because it's dark and the IR illuminator is not reaching this kind of distance. True, but you can use thermal cameras, you can use external IR illuminators. And there is also one thing that you need to remember is if we can detect the person with 15 pixels, even if it's during the night or the distance is, let's say, not 163, but you want to put the camera every 50 meters, we actually have 5 times more pixels to analyze than the competitors. So we are no longer talking about false alarms, because the false alarms, of course, this is a problem. This is a cost, right? Because somebody needs to manage the false alarm. We are talking about something more dangerous. It's false negative. What does it mean? It means that there was an object on the scene. There was a person, but the system didn't detect this person because the person was, I don't know, like crawling, hiding behind something, was visible only for 2 frames, and the system missed it. With our system, if we can detect the person with 15 pixels, if you give us more, it will be even more accurate. So you have less false negatives, the type of alarm that you actually should care about. So getting back even to this kind of image here, this was actually taken from a security tower, this mobile security tower for one of our customers. He's using our system because he had problems like poor lighting conditions. The tower is moving a lot because they move this tower every 24 hours or even like 12 hours, because this is on the construction site for the roads or some pipelines. So they need to move all the equipment all the time. So he needs to have a system that can work with poor lighting conditions, and what is important, detect the objects from really far distance. So as you can see here, the distance to this gate is around 97 meters. And take a look at this. This is what the camera actually sees. As you can see here, we can see only legs of a person. Why? Because of the H.264 compression. So the most typical compression that you have in the cameras. So H.264 compression will eat some of the details, right? The compression will think, okay, this is just a noise, so we need to compress it. And then because this person, the color of his jacket was similar to the gate and everything, as you can see, the compression just ate all the details of the jacket and only left the legs of a person. But here is the image from our system. As you can see, in a moment, there will be like brief red flash, and you will see that there was the, yeah, like here, it was a detection of the person. So this is the frame that was marked with the detection, and this is what you get from our dashboard, our detection system. As you can see here, the moment that the person was moving in front of the gate, so here, when you see that clearly just the legs, it was enough to detect the person. And this is why some of other customers are using our system. Like here, they had the problem that the thieves, they noticed that if there are cameras from one of the Chinese manufacturers on those security towers, and if they cover themselves with this, let's say, I don't know, like a shield, they build this kind of shield, they will not be detected, because the camera cannot distinguish, like understand that this is a person hiding behind something. Of course, you can see the hand of a person, you can see the foot of the person, but for the normal camera, it's not enough. And here, as you can see, this is again test done by our customer, because he didn't believe that it works like this one. But here, as you can see, the person is moving away from this house, but it was enough again to detect from our system that yes, this is actually a person. So when I presented those videos for Another customer, he said, okay, Mateusz, I need to test this solution because this looks too good. And he installed the camera like between those two buildings. And he said to me, Mateusz, we have the false alarm. Your system is detecting the car as a person, because I just received the notification that there was an intruder detected, like a person, but as you can see, there's a car. And I said, okay, wait, stop the video and zoom in. And this is actually what you can see. This is the hand of a person and maybe a head. It was enough to detect that this is a person. And it's not like separate case, like one time, this kind of detection. Again, this is one customer from United States. And as you can see here, this is the video from the detection. And here is the detection. As you can see, person inside this garbage truck. Also here, so the person dressed in black on the black background, it's still enough for our system to detect. Or here, and so on. So this is the true advantage of the system. It just knows how the person looks like and how the person behaves. It doesn't look for the shapes of a person, of a people, or of objects. It also understands how the object behaves in a given scene. So this is sample image. This is one of the videos that I received from one of the customers. I don't know how the quality looks like on Zoom call, but what you can see here is lots of noise. This camera, this is Axis camera. It's like 14 years old. It's really old. As you can see, here is lots of noise. It's blurry. I tried to use normal NVR-based video analytics to detect people on the scene. And of course, yeah, I have a detection. There's a person. But also the system thinks that those are people also. Why? Because when the noise is moving around, the system finally will use those parts to see the shape that it's teach to detect. And this is the problem. This is actually detections from our system. As you can see, no false alarms, and the system is precisely detecting the objects in the when the objects are present on the image, despite all the noise, all the blurry effects, and so on. So this is the true power of the AI. Like I said on the beginning, it can work with current systems, even if the camera is analog. Of course, we recommend that the resolution of the camera should be at least HD resolution. So it shouldn't be a problem, because even if you are using old analog systems, if you connect those cameras to modern XVRs or DVRs, they will upscale this image to at least HD. So it shouldn't be a problem to detect the objects from this kind of thing, but it works with all of this. And this is the huge advantage that you can get, right? Because you can enhance your current systems, your systems from your customers without much cost, because you can use the current installation and just put AI on top of it. And probably you are wondering right now, okay, but the cost of this the AI can be higher, right? I mean, this looks impressive, this works great, and some of you probably thinking about those kind of servers that you need for those kind of installations to make it work. And this was actually a problem some time ago. Those kind of video analytics, they were available before, but those kind of analytics, they required huge hardware, and big hardware means lots of costs and so on, right? So we are solving this problem right now. This AI, of course, can work in our cloud, so you can stream the images from the cameras, or even just the motion detection events or analytics events to our cloud, and our cloud will do all the analytics. But if you are thinking that, okay, this can mean some kind of problem, because actually in our cloud we have this kind of machine there, right? But you are thinking that your customer would not agree on something like this, or maybe your system is air-gapped, so there is no internet access to your system because of the security reasons. So how you can benefit from it? you can use our Scylla AI box, Asteria 2.0. Actually, soon we're gonna have the new one, the 3.0, even more powerful, in the same housing. So as you can see here, this is the HDMI and network port. This device is really small. It's not something like it's really big. It's something that can help you out with your system. You just put this kind of device in your system and you connect the cameras to it, and that's it. You have the AI. And then you use the alarm outputs like here, because as you can see, this is alarm input output interface, or some HTTP commands, and you can integrate this with, I think, almost any VMS that you get on the on site. So just to summarize, what kind of benefits you've got so far from Scylla? Just simple intrusion detection system. We're gonna talk about other systems later. So what kind of benefits, how you can save money, or how you can earn money, how you can get more market, how you can get more customers. First of all, using our intrusion detection system, you can cover bigger areas with less cameras. So this means that if you got the competitors designing the system, like right now we have this one project for the solar farm in Poland, and our partner won the project. Why? Because instead of 180 cameras, they said that they can achieve the same thing with 90 cameras, which means that they saved like 90 times the price of the camera. But that's not it, because the less cameras means that they can use less network devices. So you don't need to invest so much in routers, in switches, and so on. What else? Less network devices means less cabling. You know, the copper is really expensive right now, so the cabling is also expensive. But not only the cable alone, the cameras alone, and the network devices are expensive. Lower labor costs. Because if you can install less cameras and less devices cabling, you can finish the work sooner. You can charge less for the work, and you can get more customers meantime and achieve the same thing, right? The analytics will be even better. And of course, less channels in the VMS, and because you get less channels, less cameras, and so on, you have the lower bandwidth, and you have the lower storage needs, and so on and so on. So those are all the benefits that you get only by using the superior analytics. So instead of investing in a smart cameras that are quite expensive, you can just invest in smarter solution, and you can use just the typical, let's say, full HD camera, and that's it. And you have the even better solution that you will get with smart camera. And benefits of this one, again, unified solution. You don't need to mix cameras. Like in this scenario, I'm gonna use the camera with superior analytics on board. In this case, just typical camera. Here, 5-megapixel camera, because I need to detect the objects from the bigger distance and so on. You don't need to do it. You can use the same camera on whole system, and you just include the proper AI for each product. This means that you have the unified solution, so you get the better SLA, because if something happens with the camera, it's really easy to replace. It's available because you are using just typical, normal, full HD camera, so you don't need to wait for some project camera to get to the warehouse and get from the warehouse, and then you need to wait like 4 weeks for the... No, because it's available, right? It's easy configuration of the camera, because it's not something like a smart where you need to configure everything. You can do it really simple. And let me show you one thing. This is the dashboard. I'm going to talk about the dashboard a little bit later, but I want to show you one thing. This is the video that I presented. I prepared really long time ago when I was working for the Dahua, just to explain to people that they should always talk about the technology, not about the marketing. Because here what you can see are 3 cameras of 3 different brands. This one is Dahua, actually, because yeah, you can see the name of the camera even here. Yeah, and I often ask people during the trainings, the exhibitions, and so on, which image do you prefer? Which camera would you choose? And To be honest, some of people will mark this one because the image is much brighter, right? It's more, let's say, more light on this scene. But to be honest, I don't think so. It's a much better because you got lots of motion blur and you don't even see the details on my shirt. On this camera, which is actually Axis, you can see the markings that I have something written on my shirt. So maybe the image is darker, but you have less motion blur. And this was, I think it was Hanwha. It doesn't matter actually, because you know what matters? All those three cameras, they use the same sensor. The sensor, which like it's the most important part when it comes for the image quality during the night, this sensor alone will tell you how good the image is. And the third thing that is important is that the cost of the camera. This one is around, I think it was 250 USD. This one was 400 USD, and this one was 800 USD. So when you ask your customer, which camera do you prefer? Believe me, they will probably choose this one. And when we talk about the true AI, this is also the answer for you, because you don't need to invest a lot in the camera where the only part that you pay more is, of course, some of the marketing and the brand, but also the software that is on board of the camera. You don't need this one. Right now, the industry is completely different. Right now, when we talk about the cameras, the camera is just a detector. It's like a peer sensor. The purpose of the camera is to detect the object and send you the alarm. And this is what I'm telling my customer all the time, because just like my neighbor, he installed the 4K cameras on his house. I was not recommending 4K cameras for him. I said, listen, here is my the hardware that I suggest to you to install. 2-megapixel cameras, but 2-megapixel camera with analytics and you know, those TIOC cameras with light and speaker. Because if you detect someone, this camera will scare this person away. You need early detection and you need prevention. And what happened? Somebody stole his bike from his yard, and he's got really nice 4K resolution video of this person. But police said that they don't know this person, and even if they're gonna find this person, probably this person already sold this bike somewhere. So they can, the best they can do, they can just take this person to the prison, but it will not get the bike back to my neighbor. So this is why the camera should be only a detector, and what we should care about is prevention. We should care about the detection of the early detection of the systems. And what else you can get from the Scylla? You know that you can use less cameras. You have the bigger range for the detections. It's more precise, so you have less false positives, like false alarms, but also false negatives. So you can be sure that you will detect the object that you want to detect. I said also that you have this easy configuration of the camera alone. But what about this AI? Because for some people, the AI sounds, you know, complicated, because some of the systems, they require teaching of the AI. So you need to teach how the AI should work, what kind of system the AI should detect, and so on. So how does it work in Scylla? Actually, when I was working, when I was preparing some kind of comparisons between our AI and other solutions from the market, I presented some of those on my personal blog. I have this blog called CCTV Nerds. I put videos there. And one of the competitors actually reached to me and said that, Mateusz, you didn't have this kind of detection, or you have more false alarms on our system because you are doing the configuration wrong. So if you got this kind of scene on our solution, this is how you should configure it. You should set up 2 different zones. Each zone should have different detection rules, like a minimum object size, maximum object size, the angle, the thresholds, and so on. And on the bigger scenes, you need to draw those zones in many places and so on. And I was like, really? This is how you do it? So right now we are installing the this solar farm for 90 cameras, and I need to do it on 90 cameras? It will take so much time, and this doesn't look simple. So this requires knowledge from some person that will finish some kind of training. So this person have more knowledge, more experience. More experience means that this person probably is more expensive, right? So how you can get, how you can solve this kind of problem? Again, using our solution. Because in Scylla, the only configuration that you are doing is actually just turn it on. There is no minimum object size, maximum object size. No, you just turn on the intrusion detection. Of course, you can set up the detection zone, like the area, the mask for the detection, but that's it. You don't need to specify that the size of the person needs to be, the person needs to stay inside for at least 3 seconds, or the person needs to be moving because otherwise you're gonna get false alarms. You don't need to do all those things. And this is also, why does it work like this? Because again, we are talking about the AI. So the system that can detect and understand the movement of the object, the behavior of the object, and they can understand what is the background actually of the image, of the video, and what is the object that you want to detect. So this means that this video analytics can work not only on the stationary cameras, but also on the moving backgrounds. And this is one of the videos that I often present and we show to show off. As you can see here, this is the live view from drone camera. So we have the drone flying, and as you can see, it detected the object. Here we have the person, which is again quite small, right? And the background is moving, everything is moving. But this is clear show off, because we are not only detecting the person from this video, we are also detecting that this person is holding a gun. And not only that this person is holding a gun, what kind of gun this person is holding, because as you can see here, this is a like pistol, and here we have the person with the rifle detected. This is the true power of the AI. We can work on moving backgrounds. So you don't need to have the cameras with image stabilization. You don't need to have the cameras with, you know, sometimes when you install the cameras on some high pole or some tower, or maybe on some metal construction, that it's vibrating because of the wind, or moving vehicles and everything is shaking. So you get false alarms all the time because the camera is shaking and so on. You don't need to care about those things because it works with the moving background. If it can work on drone footage, it can also work on the shaky camera. And one customer said, okay, but can we use this camera for the PTZ in patrol? So the camera in patrol is like moving and you detect the object. And I said, let me just show you one thing. This is the test that I made some time ago. This is the, oh, sorry, I will turn off the music. Okay. So this is a first person view from a high speed drone. And as you can see here, this image from the drone is detecting the people all the time. This is the actual footage that I put inside the system. And the drone is moving. You don't see any false alarms because of the moving bushes and so on. I don't know of any PTZ camera that can move like that. Here, really complicated scene. It was really, I had to like slow down the video to make sure that there was actually a person there. Like here, this video is also available on our website. If you need this kind of like raw video to show to your customers, or maybe the decision maker person to show how accurate the system is, this is the perfect solution. As you can see here, lots of objects like those gravestones, they look like a person because it's vertical and it's moving, but you don't have any kind of detection of those. There is nothing. The only detection that you got is on the person that was driving the drone. So this is the true power of the AI. And like I said, the intrusion detection is the most simple analytics that we have. This is the tip of the iceberg, actually. What else you can run on our solution? On the Asteria box, in the cloud, with the live streaming. Like I said, doesn't matter what kind of system the customer have, we can integrate with the current system. So what else you can do? We have also analytics like gun detection. You saw the video from the drone. Face recognition for access control, time attendance, live alerts of a person. So you can use this kind of face recognition. Suspicious shopping behavior, like shoplifting, actually. Slip and fall for lone worker security, let's say, and or for hospital or things like this, and smoke and fire detection systems. Smoke and fire is actually 1 hour presentation to show all the benefits of this one, and we're gonna have the webinar, I think tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna have the webinar about the smoke and fire. So please feel free to join our webinar. You will find the invitation link on our LinkedIn, and you will see the benefits of this kind of analytics, because this alone can build your business. Actually, right now, smoke and fire detection is really hot topic because of the lithium batteries, because of the electric cars, because of the weather, forest fires, and so on. So this is something that you don't want to miss. But even focusing on the older analytics, imagine right now here, this is the shoplifting detection from one of our customers that we had a project on. So as you can see here, we are detecting that the person is hiding something inside the backpack. So again, this is not the system that is a cost for your customer. This is something that will actually save money for your customer, because installing something like this on a alley that is with expensive goods, it doesn't need to be like grocery shop or alcohol. Those can be, I think even we have some detections in our dashboard. Let me check. Let's suspicious shopping behavior. There was one detection here. Yeah, the lady is hiding the clothing inside her bag. Or for example, here, the person was hiding something from this side. Here, I almost missed this one. See, the guy is hiding the cell phones inside his bag. So this detection, actually, it will pay off the whole installation of the shoplifting detection system. So it's no longer a cost for your customer. It's an investment. It's not even investment, because probably if the customer will agree on 1 month proof of concept where you can install the devices there, in this 1 month of proof of concept, they will save enough money to pay for the full product. So this is what you should also consider when you talk about the artificial intelligence. Like I said, intrusion detection is the most simple one that we have. Shoplifting is the second best in the world, actually, because we tested this one across any other competitors, and this one is really, really great. What else? Slip and fall. This is the video from the tests that we were doing in one time to check if we can like fool the system or have some missed detections or something like this. As you can see, even if you are falling like a different crazy way, still the system will detect this kind of thing. So you can actually use this one in, like I said, in the hospital, in maybe some construction site, maybe like completely different scenarios where you can actually protect people. And as you can see here, it doesn't matter what kind of angle of the camera is. Of course, the person still needs to be visible, but we are working on really strange angles and the resolutions and the cameras. This means less configuration from your side, less troubleshooting, less work, so lower labor cost. So again, another analytics that is just plug and play for your customer. And this one can actually save some people's lives, right? As you can see here, the person just fell off. So if you got like construction site, so manufacturing facility, a hospital, places where the investor needs to make sure that the people working there or moving there are safe and protected, this is the analytics that you can use. And of course, like I said before, smoke and fire, for example, detection systems, please join our webinar. You will see much more than only the forest fire detection. It's of course this is impressive because of the distance and accuracy, but we have even more. What else? Fight detection. So we can detect violence. And again, like you can see here, the image here is from, there was the first detection. So the image here is from analog camera. And the camera, this is just some stream from YouTube. So the camera is moving, the whole image is moving. See? So from this alone, we had those 3 detections. So first one, second one here, and the third clip here. So you get whole situation covered, or some violence here. First of all, we detect this person and this person. So fight detection, where, I don't know, nightclubs, hospitals also, jails, right? Border security, airports, all the places where, again, the investor need to protect and make sure that everybody there is safe. And those kind of analytics here, you can see the whole list, the things that we can detect. It's a really long list. So if you've got any kind of project that you think that it will benefit from AI right now, this is the time. This is the time. And I know that some people are talking that AI will take your job, right? It's not true. The AI actually will help you if you are fast enough. I mean, if you're gonna implement, if you're gonna use the AI in your current projects, will help you get more customers, or it will help you save money and even take over the market from the companies that are too late or too slow to implement the AI. So if you have any more questions regarding the AI, first of all, please contact our great partner, Karim. Here is the email. Or if you get any questions right now and I can just show you something more, or maybe you need some clarification regarding the things that I show you right now, please use the questions and answers tab in Zoom, and I will answer them live. So thank you again for your time. I hope that this presentation was at least you learned something from us, you know more about our Scylla solutions, and it give you some kind of ideas on how to use the AI in your current projects. Thank you so much, and please reach to us.